Website, Public Intelligence Blog, also warned of a false flag Ebola outbreak in the United States almost 2 weeks before the first case of Ebola was confirmed in Dallas. And it goes on. If Ebola virus hits the USA, it will be in this order or probability: a false flag biochemical stand-in, B, volunteers ready in the USA infected by Saudi clandestines, C, white virgins not known by the USA to be associated in any way or combination, that's what they're called in the CIA, as people working for them or cutouts, that are rogue elements in the USA that would be happy to kill citizens for effect. And there are rogue elements among our allies, including the Zionist government of Israel, that would be equally happy to screw the big or great Satan of Saudi Arabia. And it goes on. An individual who said he worked as a first responder, an emergency manager in Texas, also called in to the Alex Jones Show on Sunday to assert that the botched response to Ebola outbreak in the United States was on purpose. Well, I don't think, he's not asserting it. It doesn't matter if the guy was an emergency manager or not, even though clearly he was. It's in the manuals what the default is. We need to do articles about that. And about how what the caller just said. It's a default stand down. We need to be focusing in on that it is a stand down. Why is there a stand down? Why are the flights being allowed in when nobody else does? Okay, and we're still saying, is it? Is it? No, it is. So let's go ahead and play that clip, a short clip of the Steele interview. The full clip is linked under it as well. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.com. Retweet the story to cause a debate about this. CIA insider warned of Ebola false flag in September. Here it is.
They will have another false flag. In fact, the false flag I'm hearing about is a simulated Ebola attack in which they actually use biochemical weapons that dissipate, but then they pretend that it's Ebola and that it has been brought here by Saudi martyrs. Okay, so no, we have not reached the end of the false flag line. However, what we have reached is, I did my first graduate thesis on predicting revolution, and there's a difference between preconditions of revolution and precipitants. And I have posted a graphic on preconditions of revolution that exist in the USA today. Now, a precipitant is like the Tunisian fruit seller. My preferred precipitant is a soccer mom that tortures herself on the steps of Capitol Hill, and it appears on YouTube. But the bottom line is the next false flag could lead to a general strike across this country.
All right, and again, you can see the full interview at Infowars.com. I'm going to go to break and come back with more of your calls and open phones right into the third hour. The issue isn't even, for me, the Ebola. I mean, I didn't think it would come here 2 months ago, and then they started bringing in infected people, and I said, that's never been done before. That's against the law. No one's even pointing that out in the news. Clearly, they want a cover, as I said a few months ago, a month and a half ago, a cover for when it does break out, they can blame it on something. And then they let this guy fly in who'd been in the hospital and knew he had Ebola to vomit and spew and go to the hospital here and diarrhea all over the place. And I mean, undoubtedly he gave it to people if it's real Ebola and they're saying it is. And then now it's just don't worry about it. You know, go to sleep. Everything's fine. What do you think's going on? Why would government act like this? Why would our border be wide open? Why would Geraldo Rivera say it's racist to not want everybody to have open borders? When clearly this country is under siege. I mean, no one. Other African countries bordering. This is important. Sierra Leone and others have locked down their borders. I mean, our government does whatever is bad. I mean, it really comes down to that. It's so over the top. They have the Dallas police trying to chase down who was around this guy instead of the feds. And this is a federal issue. It's a local issue as well because there's public harm, you know, taking place here. But the main purview is the feds, and they have the giant budget. So they're doing nothing. Just like they ordered the police to stand down at Katrina and cut the police radio towers down and cell phone towers down and let it all collapse so they could then come in and have a bigger crisis and get more funding. Oh, it makes me angry. 800-259-9231. John, Donna, Eric, Marty, Alex, we're all going to get to all your calls coming up. Briefly, I personally, for my immune system, am taking the Lung Cleanse, Lung Shield from InfoWars Life 3 times a day. Just 3 shots in the mouth and inhale. I personally am taking the DNA Force known to boost your immune system and clean out your cells and do so much more. Just a super cutting-edge nutraceutical. The X2 Super Iodine does just supercharge my body, my health, help flush out and clean me out, get my glands in shape. You can read all the actual documentation, see videos breaking it down at InfoWarsLife.com, whether it's Super Male Vitality, Silver Bullet, Colloidal Silver, Oxy Powder. You know, they say 70 or more % of your body's immunity is in your stomach and intestines. Oxy Powder, I'm not even going to just even describe what it does. Nothing flushes you out like this. And wasn't discomforting to me, but it's truly cutting edge. The Oxy Powder by Global Healing Center, discounted at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And your purchase of all the InfoWarsLife.com products funds the very tip of the spear in the InfoWar. So I want to thank you for your support. At InfoWarsStore.com, we have the books, the videos, the high-quality water filters, the Molon Labe Made in America T-shirts to promote the Second Amendment. So shop with the good guys, the white hats, and help us get the word out. We are listener-supported. InfoWarsStore.com.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. You felt betrayed. Your emotions began to consume you. Outrage set in. Then, nothing. Days turned to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming. What's coming? Monitor BlockitPocket.com. Or will you forget?
I love a dark house. Inside is all the stuff you work so hard for, and I'm gonna rob you blind.
Don't be the next victim of a break-in. Go to FakeTV.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone is inside watching TV and makes your home unappealing to would-be thieves.
Don't these people ever leave?
Starting at $24.95, and there's free shipping. Go to FakeTV.com or ask for it at your local hardware store. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Next to water and food, you need a safe, storable fuel supply for your preparedness needs. Spare Fuel is the answer. Spare Fuel can be used in any gas-powered vehicle or generator. Spare Fuel is perfect for any unforeseen out-of-gas emergencies. Unlike gasoline, Spare Fuel is safe to store with your other supplies, and it can be stored for many years. Go to GetSpareFuel.com for special pricing. That's GetSpareFuel.com.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
We're going to continue with phone calls. Alex Jones here back live. Joe Biggs, who was our reporter on the ground with Josh Owens up in Dallas, is going to give us his take on what he saw in Dallas at the bottom of the next hour. Again, this is Paul Watson's new story, Apocalypse Scenario. Discoverer of Ebola fears virus could mutate. Professor warns of humanitarian catastrophe. What if it does go airborne? And they'll say, sorry, we got to let the planes fly in. and then just everybody starts dying en masse, and they'll probably give Obama a peace prize or something, and if you don't support getting Ebola, you're racist. I'm not even joking at this point. It's getting so insane. Right now, let's continue with your phone calls. John in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, the only way to deal with criminals is by force. The political option is off the table. Boehner's not going anywhere. Obama's not going anywhere. You claim that 80 to 90% of the military listen to your program, and there are military officers inside the Pentagon that know about the U.S. equivalent of Operation Valkyrie.
Let me just be clear for a minute. I'm not saying 80 to 90% of the military listens to my show. I'm saying from what I've seen on the ground and what my other sources have said, 80 to 90% are now awake that our government runs al-Qaeda, that there's a criminal group that's taken over, but they're all compartmentalized and don't know what to do either. They are becoming belligerent, you know, in Congress saying, no, your allies are arming al-Qaeda. No, we don't want to be part of this. The British military is doing the same thing. So those are positive issues. But, I mean, you know, to sit here on air and talk about a military coup, for those that don't know, Operation Valkyrie was a continuity of government program the Nazis had. So they reversed it to try to use it to overthrow Hitler, and it did not work. Here's another problem. Obama is just a puppet. You'd have to remove the entire group of oligarchs, and they run the pension funds, the banks, everything. It's so deep. It has to be a complete cultural revolution, not supporting globalist institutions and moving away from them and just decrying them and not complying. And then they're going to start a physical war and a civil war, but that's better than going the coup route, in my view. Listen, the globalists might blow Obama's head off, and I hope they don't, and turn him into a martyr. Don't think that's not a rabbit in the hat they hadn't been thinking about. Can you imagine they'll use some white supremacist or something they drug up to take the fall? And they'll kill a body double and Obama will retire to wherever. I mean, he is a pure fake. So I've war-gamed this. It's easy to sit back and say, have the military. Tell you got 2 minutes to break. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is that you're right, the oligarchs are entrenched, but we can arrest the entire leadership who are all puppets of them, put them on display, put them on trial, and you may not know this, but Stauffenberg, who led the coup in Nazi Germany, compiled a list of civilians, loyal Germans that could take over. They would hand it over to the civilians to deal with the criminals once Hitler was dead. That's why they failed, because they failed to kill Hitler. We don't want to see anybody get killed. We want them arrested. We want to put them on trial. The only people that can deal with this, and I say we take our chance with the military, because we don't have time. Ebola's on our back. They're going to start another false flag any moment now, and the moment that happens is when the military should move against them.
Well, I'll tell you that that's exactly the type of stuff that's being talked about. And I'm just a radio host trying to analyze this and warn the people. It's way above my head. It's way above everybody's head. And, of course, they brought the Ebola in. Of course they're trying to spread it. I mean, it's just, they're horrible. I mean, we're in the hands of total demons. And the churches are government run, so they won't tell anybody. I mean, we are in so much trouble. Just like those 54 million babies who are in trouble, who were murdered in this country. It's called judgment, folks. And I don't know what we do rather than spread the word. I mean, it's we'll be right back. Stay with us. It's so heavy. And reality is so much stranger than fiction. God help us. GCN, God forgive us for all we've done. I mean, we are a nation of demons. I mean, let's just be honest.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
DNA Force.
When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in.
DNA Force.
No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies.
DNA Force.
We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
DNA Force.